name's Mike Beckwith. I'm our Vice President of Operations here at Odyssey Logistics. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about some of the enforcement that's been coming down from the FMCSA and the DOT this year. FMCSA has really shifted this year from education more to prioritizing enforcement, as we've seen. FMCSA's focus has shifted on improving carrier integrity, reducing fraud, and ensuring only compliant carriers remain in operations. First thing we've seen this year is some reinforcement behind self-certified ELDs. For years, ELD manufacturers essentially self-certified that their devices met FMCSA technical requirements before being listed. Since January of 2025, really last year, the agencies revoked 79 ELD devices that failed to meet federal standards. Another change that's being addressed this year is obviously the fraud that we've been seeing in terms of registrations. They've recently launched new Modus registration platform, which is designed to replace aging registration systems that were vulnerable to fraud. Outside of Modus this year, we've also been seeing a lot of changes with regulations in terms of DOT and Safety Week. 2026 Road Check Week specifically saw double of the amount of out-of-service violations that we did in previous years. Last year, we were at 18.1% of drivers being put out of service, where this year was a quite staggering 32.8%. When we look at what's going on for the rest of the year, even in a couple of weeks coming up, July 12th through the 18th, the CVSA is having Operations Safe Driver Week. Just like we saw with DOT Week, we should expect to see capacity shifting out of the market and parking their trucks. The FMCSA has came out and said that there's approximately 200,000 non-domiciled CDL holders in the U.S. today. And while the FMCSA estimates that their removal is not going to be immediate, brokers are already removing some of those non-domiciled drivers from their networks. Some of the reasons why is because of the facts behind fraud in the market. While non-domiciled CDL drivers make up less than 5% of the capacity, almost over 80% of the fraud in the market comes from non-domiciled CDLs. So we are going to see state licensing and agencies are going to start auditing credentials and verifying lawful status much more aggressively than in prior years. And lastly, FMCSA has increased oversight in CDL schools. Some providers have lost or can lose their training provider registration status. And the reason's pretty clear. Schools are failing to meet curriculum, record keeping, and reporting requirements, which can lose their ability to certify new drivers. The result is fewer low-quality training providers and higher standards for new drivers as they enter the market. What all this means for capacity is, every one of these initiatives removes a portion of capacity from the market. Non-compliant carriers leave the industry, drivers using revoked ELDs can be placed out of service, and fraudulent registrations become harder to obtain. Lastly, lower quality CDL schools produce fewer new drivers coming back into the market. What we're seeing isn't just another regulatory cycle. It's a fundamental shift toward a safer and more accountable trucking industry. As weaker or non-compliant carriers exit the market, capacity becomes more constrained, making a strong carrier relationships and diversified transportation strategy more important than ever. That's why at Odyssey Logistics, we've invested heavily in building vetted carrier networks and multimodal solutions that help our customers maintain reliable capacity regardless of how the regulatory landscape evolves.